So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna first go ahead and whatchamacallit? I'm gonna draw a line. Okay. Let me just draw a line from B to A. Okay. And then what I would like to do is, what I was hoping you would do is actually measure that with the centimeters or the inches. But if you measured it with your ruler, from here to here, it should be 6 centimeters. Did you get 6 centimeters? Go ahead and measure real quick. Draw a line from A to B and tell me it's about 6 centimeters. Would you say, let's see, I'll wait for Lopez and Robles too. What do you think, Lopez? What do you think, Robles?
Yeah, it is.
Was it 6 centimeters or no?
I don't know, I'm probably doing it wrong.
No, it's fine. Let's just work on measuring real quick. Here. So centimeters would be.
Yeah.
Okay, so put on 0. Put on 0. Put it right there. Boom. You see how it's 6?
Yeah.
Okay. You're able to do it right, 6. Okay, what's half of 6, Lopez? 3. So if you mark out 3 on your ruler, it would definitely land right there in the midpoint. Good job, Adriano. And notice that point. Go ahead and highlight that point. -1, 1, please, on your paper. Put a dot on -1, 1. Go to write midpoint. Okay, so far so good. All right. Don't write this down. But that point right there, what would be the coordinates to that point, Robles? What would be the 2 numbers describing that point? And the 2 numbers I call the coordinates. What would be the coordinates to that red point there, would you say? 3, and definitely 3, because I get 1, 2, 3. But this is going down on the y-axis, so it's negative, huh? So 3, -2, yeah? Cool. 3, 3, 2 would be right up here. That's 3, 2. Okay. Lopez, can you give me the coordinates to that point right there? 2 what? So look at 2 for sure. You're right. Look at 1, 2 for the x-axis, and then how far do you go up on the y-axis is y number line? 1 up, so 2, 1. Adriano, give me the coordinates of that one right there. -5, +2. So here we go. You start off at 0, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's -5 on the x, comma, and he goes up 2. Cool. Robles, give me the coordinates of that one.
-5 and -4.
Good. Okay. Lopez, give me the coordinates to this one. So the second part, -2 what? You say -2, -2? Watch this. -2, -2. Boom. So I just want to kind of practice with you guys. Every point has 2 coordinates describing it. Okay, we know that from maybe a past math class. And we call graph paper like this, we call it the coordinate plane. We call it the coordinate plane. Now, when I say the word plane, I'm not talking about an airplane that flies in the sky. A plane is a flat surface. A flat two-dimensional surface. And so whenever you see graph paper like this, we call that a coordinate plane, because coordinates are the numbers that describe any point on, there's always two numbers describing any point on the coordinate plane. Now, what I'm going to cover today, Ariano was able to get the midpoint, negative 1, 1. Look, it's right in the middle between point A and point B. He got it right in the middle. Good job. But that, he had to draw a line through them. I don't know how. Did you just measure it and get the midpoint? How'd you do it? What was your game plan? Yeah, so he measured it with the ruler and then he tried to find the midpoint. It took some time. There's actually a mathematical way to find the midpoint of any line segment you draw on a coordinate plane. There's a mathematical way to find the exact midpoint. That's what we're going to cover today. If you look at the note guide I just passed out, go to that note guide. Actually put it on C22 also. We're going to skip page 1 and we're going to go right to page 2 where it says the midpoint formula. So save page 1 for next time, go to page 2 and you see the midpoint formula.
We're not doing this one right now?
Yeah, so you can put that to the side, just say that, yeah. So save the exploration for later. Get out this midpoint formula. Page 2. And let me go and add it to my slide deck here. Right. You could do it with a pen or pencil, take notes right now. So what we're going to do is, this is a formula, is just another word for like, we just finished area formulas, right? They're structures that you just replace the variables in and it gets you something. It's like you're going to make cookies at home. The formula for cookies is a recipe. So a formula is just a recipe. Think of it like a recipe. If you're going to make cookies, they ask for eggs, some flour, this and that, butter. A formula is like a recipe. So if you want to find the midpoint of any 2 points on the coordinate plane, then you're going to use this formula. Look at it. It's in parentheses. Look at it. Because we're dealing with coordinates. Remember the 2 numbers that we described? That describes every point on the coordinate plane? You'll take 2 x's and divide it by 2, and you'll take 2 y's and divide it by 2, and you're going to get the midpoint. Let me show you what I mean. On the exploration that you just put away, what was the coordinates for A? Ariana, can you give me the coordinates for A?
Yeah, 3 and 4.
So the one we just did right now. Look at it, 3, 4. Go ahead and write point A, 3, 4 on your paper. Where it's on the notes section right here. Robles, what was the coordinates for point B on the exploration?
Where's that?
The one we just finished, the paper we just finished? What was the coordinates for point B? The other end point.
-5, -2.
Thank you. Go and write that for me. -5, -2. That was right there. -5, -2, and the other endpoint was 3, 4. And Ariano correctly got 1, 1, or -1, 1. We're gonna use this formula, this midpoint formula, and we're gonna see that we'll still get -1, 1. But mathematically, not with the ruler. Watch. So let me go and write the formula now. Watch this. Write it with me. X sub 1, that little 1 beneath the X, we call it sub, like a substitute. Sub means under. So X sub 1 plus X sub 2 divided by 2, comma, write that down with me, please. Y sub 1 plus Y sub 2 divided by 2, close the parentheses. far so good.
Yes, sir.
All right. You may be asking yourself, what does Mr. Munguia mean by these sub 1s and sub 2s? What's going on here? Well, they're just kind of like placeholders. When I saw the PE class this morning, when I took out my basketball class out there in the Blacktop, the Village Academy kids, they had a PE class going. And they were actually they were lining up on their numbers that are on the blacktop. Those numbers are placeholders for a student. In the same way, x sub 1 is a placeholder for one of the x coordinates that we're dealing with over here. X sub 2 is like a number for a placeholder for one of these x's over here. And then the y sub 1 and the y sub 2, they're just placeholders that you're going to put numbers in right now. We're going to plug and chug. We're going to plug in numbers for those. And let me show you what numbers you're going to plug in. Watch. Let me rewrite it so it's nice and clean again. Watch. X sub 1 plus x sub 2. Y sub 1 plus y sub 2. Watch this now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make the top, look at the coordinates for A. I'm going to put sub 1s underneath those. And the coordinates for B, I'm going to put sub 2s right there. So put sub 1s on the A coordinates and then sub 2s on the B coordinates. I could have did it vice versa. I could have made the A the sub 2s and the B the sub 1s. It doesn't matter. But what does matter is that for any given point, they have to agree. If you're going to make these the sub 1s, then both the 3 and the 4 have to be sub 1s. If you're going to make these both sub 2s, they both have to be sub 2s. But you can switch them around. In other words, this could have been 1s. And this could have been 2s right here. That doesn't matter. What does matter is that they both have to be the same number for a given ordered pair of coordinates. All right, so let me go back. I made these my 1s and these my 2s. Let's plug and chug now. Watch, I'm gonna plug these numbers into that formula now. And we're gonna get the midpoint that Ariano got, which was -1, 1. Watch, I'm gonna prove it to you. I'm gonna prove to you that this formula works. Here we go. X sub 1. Nice. Look at the first numbers are the x's, the second numbers are the y's. X sub 1 is 3. Look, I made it 3. So I'm going to put 3 right here. What's my x sub 2, Mr. Ariano? -5. Look at x is the first number, sub 2 is -5. So it's 3 plus -5 divided by 2. And let me plug and chug over here the y's. Y sub 2, look at y sub 2. Well, y sub 1 over there is going to be 4. Look at the second numbers are your y's, huh? So it's going to be 4 plus y sub 2 is a -2 divided by 2. Rocking and rolling. Come up to the side. Let me simplify now. Let's see. The numerator, 3 plus -5. Let's see, 3 plus a -5. The signs are different, so I'm going to subtract and take the sign of the bigger number. That's going to be a positive or -2?
Positive.
Well, the sign of the bigger number is negative, so it's going to be a -2. So I'm going to put a -2 here over 2, comma. And then 4 plus a -2, that's going to be a +2. Look at, because the sign of the bigger number is positive, and I have to subtract. 4 minus 2 is 2, and I take the sign of the bigger number, which is +2, divided by 2. So I'm just simplifying the numerator. Moving right along. So let's see. What's a -2 divided by a +2?
-1.
-1. If the signs are different, it's going to be negative. And then 2 divided by 2 is positive. And look at, this is exactly what Ariano got earlier. The formula got it for us. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. Go to page 3 of your note guide that I gave you, and look at example 7. I have it right here on the board, and it's on your page 3. It says, in exercises 7 through 9, the endpoints of PQ are given. And PQ, look at this right here. That means segment PQ, line segment PQ. So in other words, you have a P and you have a Q, and it says find the coordinates of the midpoint, M. So let's go ahead and graph P. Let's go ahead and graph Q. Do it with me. So P is -4, 3. So on your graph paper, plot -4, 3 with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. So -4, and then 1, 2, 3. There's point P. Do that with me on your graph paper. You don't have to put the -4. You don't have to put the numbers. There's point P. And let me grab point Q. 0, 5. So 0 on X. So I don't go anywhere on the X-axis, but I go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, 5 is Q. Let me draw a line to them. Look at, there's a little line. PQ. Line segment PQ. I'll pause here. So on page 3, let's go to number 7. Let's write out the formula with me. So for number 7, write it out with me. So I'm going to use the midpoint formula. We'll just use x sub 1 plus x sub 2 divided by 2, comma, y sub 1 plus y sub 2 divided by 2, close the parentheses. All right, look what I'm going to do. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to assign my subscripts, the sub 1s and the sub 2s. So I'm going to make point P my sub 1s. Do that with me. And I'm going to make Q my sub 2s. It could be the other way around, like I said. Knock yourself out. You want to make these your sub 2s? Fine. And make these your sub 1s? Fine. Doesn't matter. But what does matter is you can't make this 1 and 2, 1 and 2. You can't be doing that. It's going to be you're going to get it wrong. So you want to make these 1s and 2s or vice versa, knock yourself out. As long as for each pair of coordinates it has the same subscript. Now we're just going to plug and chug like we did on that first example. There we go. Remember, the first numbers are your x's, the second number is your y. First number is x, second number is your y.
Well, are we putting the columns still next to it?
Yeah, eventually we are. You could use it like any blank area. But we're still on 7 right now. So what would be my x sub 1, Miss Lopez? The way I set it up. Which one's my x sub 1? -4. Exactly. X sub 1. Good. Plus, I'm just following the formula. I'm just following the recipe. What's my x sub 2, Robles?
0.
Gracias. Divide that by 2. Let me come over here. What's my x sub 2, Ariano? What's my x, or y sub 2 rather? Y sub 1, my coffee hasn't kicked in. Then a y sub 2 would be 5. Divide that by 2. So far so good. Now let's go and simplify now. All right, -4 plus 0 is -4. Divide that by 2. 3 plus 5 is 8. Divide that by 2. Let's see what we get in the end. Negative 4 divided by 2 is going to be a negative 2. 8 divided by 2 is a 4. There's our midpoint, ladies and gents. Negative 2, 4. I think that works. Go ahead and plot it with me on your graph paper. Negative 2, 4, watch. Look at my graph paper. Negative 1, negative 2, and then up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's point M, the midpoint. Negative 2, 4. That's the answer. It's right in the middle. Right smack down in the middle. What do you think, Robles? No biggie, yeah. Lopez, what do you think? Your guys' excitement is contagious. Just kidding. Let's try the next one on your own while I walk around to help. Just number 8. Go ahead and plot P and Q on your graph paper with me. Actually, I'll do that with you. How about that? So let me go to make another X and Y axis. So let me plot P, which is negative 2, 7. Negative 1, negative 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's point P. Okay. And let's go Q is 10, negative 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, negative 3. 1, 2, 3. There's 10, negative 3. There's point Q. Go and draw a line to them. Go ahead and use a formula now to find the midpoint while I walk around.